In a moment here, we'll go live. I realize right now we are live on Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. In a moment, we'll be live on Facebook as well. Good morning. I'm Ari Temkin, and this is Phantom, where we are putting you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion, and we have breaking news to report. According to multiple sources, Dez Bryant has agreed to a one-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. There were rumors that the Saints were bringing Dez in to work out, and he has reportedly signed a one-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. The Cowboys and Saints will play on Thursday, November 29th at AT&T Stadium. So the Thursday after Thanksgiving, Dez Bryant will make his return to Dallas AT&T Stadium as a member of the New Orleans Saints. So again, Dez Bryant has signed a one-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. This just a day after it was reported that he would be working out for the Saints. And he is able to then get that contract done. This is certainly a confusing signing from a standpoint of, the Saints have a lot of weapons and only one football to go around. And they've been a prolific offense with Michael Thomas, with Alvin Kamara, with Mark Ingram, with what they have. So, perhaps they're really not happy with the production that they've been getting from their secondary receivers. And perhaps that's why they bring in a Dez Bryant, because they want to at least see how this thing would play out with their secondary receivers. And perhaps, they're not blown away with what they've seen from those guys, but certainly an interesting signing nonetheless, considering they wait till the middle of the season to do so. But again, perhaps this is because they didn't like the Saints being they didn't like what they had at secondary receiver. And so when you line up Michael Thomas on one side and now Dez Bryant on the other side, you're talking about an unbelievably formidable offense in the New Orleans Saints in their quest to win another Super Bowl. So probably bad news for Cowboys Nation. I'd imagine this is not the news that Cowboys fans wanted. I know a lot of Cowboys fans were okay with the Cowboys releasing Dez Bryant. I know some were not, wanted him to be re-signed. But certainly signing with the Saints from a team outside of the division, that was probably not the team that anybody, Cowboys fans, wanted him to sign with. And again, Dez will make a return to AT&T Stadium in a few weeks. The Cowboys are going to play consecutive Thursdays. They're going to play Thanksgiving against the Redskins at home, and then they're going to host the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football on November 29th. And the only question is, will the Cowboys still be in contention by that time? And I think on paper it looked like it could be a potential blowout, but even more so now. Obviously, even bigger implications now as the Saints have signed Dez Bryant. Again, Dez to the Saints, a one-year contract. We thought it could happen as soon as Dez went to go visit the Saints. We knew that Dez had been holding out for a deal that he wanted with a team that he wanted to be with. There were multiple offers made to him, some that were public and some that were not made publicly. We know that the Ravens made an offer. We know that the Browns made an offer. There were reportedly other offers made to Dez as well, but he had a short list of teams that he wanted to play for. The Patriots and Cowboys obviously being two of those teams, and the Saints being another one. Not sure if there were any other options, perhaps the Packers or another, that were on his wish list, but certainly the one team that came calling that was on his wish list was the New Orleans Saints. Chris Bennett says Dez is going to wear number 88. Also says that Ocho Cinco was the first to report the news that Dez was going to New Orleans. So I know that there are a lot of Cowboys fans that are going to look at this Cowboys output offensively and think, man, why didn't we bring back Dez? And then they're going to look at what Dez is going to be able to do with New Orleans, whatever production he'd be able to put up, and think that could have been us. I don't think that's fair. It's two completely different circumstances. And as we've stated before right here on Phantom, and as I've said before right here on Phantom and across the Dallas Cowboys radio network on 105.3 The Fan, Dez Bryant is the type of receiver that you have to throw open, in a sense, right? He creates windows where there aren't necessarily windows. So his skill set isn't necessarily Amari Cooper's skill set, insofar as Amari Cooper gets open. So it's easier for a guy like Dak Prescott to find him, whereas Dez is a guy that you have to throw open, in a sense, which it's not a knock on Dez. He's a great receiver and makes a lot of great plays in traffic. but not a guy that can create separation on his own. So that's why he didn't fit with the Cowboys. At least that was their perception of it. He didn't fit with them because they didn't have a quarterback that could throw him open. So that's why they released him. That's why they never entertained the idea of bringing him back, even when their offense struggled at the receiving core. And it's why he's with the Saints now. And I know that's a team that he wanted to play for. He made no secret about it, that he wanted to play for the Saints or the Patriots or the Cowboys. And obviously the Saints, he has an opportunity to really flourish there for the New Orleans Saints with an opportunity to come in there and be a secondary receiver. The question is, can he defer his ego enough to allow him to be sort of a secondary guy? Because Michael Thomas is obviously the main number one there. He's the guy that's gotten the bulk of the production for the Saints. And obviously Alvin Kamara is sort of their secondary piece, especially when it comes to the passing game. He's a running back, but obviously Kamara is a huge piece to the passing game. So I wonder how much Dez will be willing to sort of defer his own ego for the sake of this roster and being a part of a championship team. It's one thing to be the best player on a team. It's another thing to be willing to sort of take less in order to be a part of a potential championship team. And I think that's where Dez Bryant is right now. He's got a potential to be on a championship team. You look at the NFC right now, and the two favorites to come out of the NFC just played last weekend, and the Saints beat the Rams. So certainly the Saints, if they're not the favorites or front runners, they're right there in the conversation with the Rams to be the front runners for a championship out of the NFC. And obviously this is going to improve their chances. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and now they add Dez Bryant to the fold. A tremendous addition for the New Orleans Saints and a player like Dez Bryant. And I know, again, Dez could put up numbers in New Orleans, and Cowboys fans are going to go ahead and second-guess the Cowboys' decision not to bring him back. I think those are two completely independent decisions. I don't know that he would be having the success, quote-unquote, that he could potentially have in New Orleans had he stayed with the Cowboys. Absolutely. I mean, he's a guy, the back shoulder fade, he and Romo made that famous in many ways. It was the bread and butter. It's indefensible. Dez is as good at running it as Tony was at throwing it, and I think Drew Brees is in that same category. So, here's another red zone opportunity, a red zone target for the Saints, a guy that's going to, probably not get as many targets or catches as he's used to, but I'm excited for Dez for this opportunity for him. And I know that Cowboys fans, the majority of them, are going to root for him, even though he's with the Saints, a team that's not necessarily in favor of the Dallas Cowboys, a team that's had sort of a rivalry outside the division with the Dallas Cowboys, and a team that's going to play the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium on November 29th. It'll be very interesting to see how fans treat it. Are fans going to boo him? Will Dez get booed? We'll find out November 29th. All right, that's your breaking news update right here on Phantom. I am Ari Temkin. I will be back in 45 minutes, so a little precursor to Showtime with myself at 12 noon. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We'll certainly have some Dez talk, plus surgery for a Cowboys offensive lineman, what it means for them, and all that on the way at noon with Showtime. 12 o'clock Central every single day right here on Phantom, where we are putting you at the center of the Dallas